Friendo Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw News Brief. We're going to try to keep this one brief today. Larson, what's in the news?
First up in the news, so after Corey Graves moved over to Monday Night Raw, we've all been left wondering who's going to fill his shoes on SmackDown. Well, today WWE announced that Pat McAfee will be the new analyst on the Blue brand, joining Michael Cole behind the commentary booth. This is what McAfee had to say about the new job. Quote, "For as long as I can remember, WWE has been a company that I have admired, both for its incredible staying power of creating riveting entertainment, for its ability to connect people all over the globe. I've been fortunate to try a lot of cool professions, but working for WWE was the one I looked forward to most. I'm incredibly honored and grateful for the chance to give back to the business that has given me and many others so much, and having the opportunity to sit at the same table that legends have graced is truly a dream come true. Now let's go get it."
This is cool. I'm actually into this. Like, I wasn't... I had some issues with his creative for his last NXT run, but you can't deny that there were moments that were actually really cool about that.
Yeah.
But McAfee he's number one. He's a big name. Like tons. He has a huge following. I can't be honest with you. I kind of feel like this is a step down for what like he could do, but at the same time, that's what kind of makes this cool. Is that, you know, he brings a ton of personality.
He does.
I doubt that this is going to be like a long-term thing. I'd be kind of shocked if he stayed past a year, given how busy he seems to be. I mean, in his own words, he has, 7 or 8 different $1 million revenue streams.
Yeah.
I kind of believe that's probably true. So, yeah, I'd be kind of surprised if he stayed on that long. But I'm all for this. I actually really like Cole and Graves. But you know, the thing about McAfee also is that because he brings such a decently big following, he might be a bit more sort of reluctant to accept somebody screaming in his ear. And you know,
did you read that Adnan Virk following his debut on Raw says he hasn't even met Vince yet.
Really? I didn't see that. That's funny.
Yes. So I mean, based on that, you would assume that he hasn't had Vince yelling in his ear yet.
Maybe those days might well be over. I don't know. Just because, like, you know, I thought I read somewhere that like Vince wasn't even at like the Royal Rumble or something. Like, there's been reports that he hasn't been increasingly at TV lately. So it's incredibly popular. I mean, maybe if anybody's in his ear, it's Kevin Dunn or maybe Bruce. I don't know, whoever's sitting there at the gorilla position. But yeah, I don't know. I'm down with this. McAfee can be a pretty funny guy.
He can be,
and he definitely has a unique voice, a unique take. And I do think that he's not going to be so like micromanaged by the company, which is going to give the guy some freedom to do some stuff, and it should be kind of fun.
Yeah, and I think based on his time doing kickoff show panels, I would think people, you know, in production would feel comfortable with him. That's probably one of the reasons he landed the job. And so maybe for that reason alone, he won't be micromanaged as much as someone who's relatively new to the company or new to the position, you know? Yeah.
No, I think this is cool. I'm looking forward to this, you know? I mean, I definitely love it. Who knows? But no, I think this is a cool change, you know?
Yeah, I think so too. And I guess he's starting tonight, so we'll see how it all goes down.
Ooh, okay, cool, right on. Also, seeing how this goes down, Aleister Black. A lot of people yesterday with the unfortunate WWE cuts were asking, okay, well, what about Aleister Black? Hadn't seen him on TV for a very long time. Obviously, his wife was released with the whole, you know, third-party Twitch stuff, you know, brouhaha with the WWE. And so a lot of people had that question about Aleister Black. Well, PW Insider is reporting, quote, WWE began filming promos this week for the return of Aleister Black. Based on what we have heard about the vignettes, they're loosely based on Black's childhood. I also noticed on his own Instagram account, there are some, and I have no idea if these are related to the vignettes at all, because he can often be a bit mysterious there as well. But there's a great shot of him smiling, wearing a nice outfit. It looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like It's like the staging for the most interesting man in the world, the Dos Equis commercials. But it says herd the cull or call the herd. I guess, yeah, it's call the herd. So who knows? Who knows what that's all about, if that has anything to do with it or not. But I'm down for more Aleister Black, man. Hopefully if they have a clean slate and they book him properly, give him a ton of wins, he can get right back up to that main event scene where he belongs.
Yeah, totally. And don't keep him in a room.
Don't put him in a room
for a year, basically.
Don't put at least this room that he's in here, like wherever he's at, he's got to be in a room. Don't keep him in a room that doesn't have any, like, just darkness.
Yeah,
talking to the camera.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Who knows?
Don't
I don't know. They'll probably mess it up. What do I know?
They probably will, but
like somebody else that messed up, Billie Kay.
Yeah, so we got some details on her release. She's come to you from Fightful Select. Go subscribe to Fightful Select. You get wrestling news to your email, on your phone, on your computer. It's great.
Now, and this just came in, by the way, this morning. So,
yes,
typically we like to give Fightful Select a little bit of breathing room before we start reporting on our stuff. Sean has said, you guys do what you want to do. But, by all means, Fightful Select, go check them out. Get cool stuff to your phone. What's going on here?
So according to Fightful Select sources, her release was received with some surprise, considering that she's been on TV and is apparently popular, well-loved in the locker room. Fightful was also told that Kevin Dunn didn't get Billie Kay and thought she had a ceiling in WWE. I mean, her ceiling is basically no ceiling, if you actually pay attention and to her work, because she's always phenomenal.
Yeah, she's pretty great. I mean, look, I understand that her ceiling might be below. I mean, I believe this. In terms of the way she was presented up till this moment, her ceiling would have been probably below the actual WWE Women's Championship. Now, I'm sure she has the potential and she has whatever it takes to get to that level. But that being said, her ceiling as sports entertainment is higher than our sports entertainer is higher than most. Like, you don't get rid of somebody with that much charisma, with that much camera presence, and that much comedic value. Like, I just think these old dudes that are in charge of creative, I was thinking about this the other day. There is no other entertainment sort of outlet company, whatever, that has had the same people running their creative and not, I mean, WWE has been bleeding, viewership. And yeah, you can say, oh, well, people just consume their media in a different way. And maybe that's what, maybe they have metrics is just, no, we haven't bled our audience, or just like a lot of other places.
Everybody's watching the clips on YouTube rather than watching it on TV.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of feel like that, given the sheer volume of people who I'll tell them what I do for a living. Oh, I used to watch that. Yeah, a lot of people used to watch it, and that's kind of a problem.
I think what you're trying to get to is any other, if a movie studio, if their receipts from ticket sales were down to the same degree that WWE's viewership is down, they would be wholesale changes at the top. Wholesale. Heck, if it was half of what WWE's losses were, wholesale changes at the top. Same with the TV network or probably any production place. If there is this massive of losses, there would be changes.
It took only 3 years. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
I'd say in the lower levels, obviously there's a lot of turnover in the writing room for a variety of reasons. It seems like a tough place to work. But at the top, there's been basically no changes. Basically,
it's crazy that the same dude has been in charge of this, and it's it's funny because Chris Hero said relatively recently, a couple months ago, I think, on his podcast, something like, Vince is not the question of whether or not Vince has his finger on the pulse is irrelevant. Vince knows what he wants from pro wrestling. But the problem is what Vince wants from pro wrestling doesn't exactly have its finger on a pulse of the people who you could be getting back into pro wrestling. Mm-hmm. Now, again, the caveat there is they've struck $1 billion deal after $1 billion deal. But yeah, it's crazy that and who knows if this Kevin Dunn thing is what precipitated her release. Who knows? I have no idea. From what we've always been
no idea.
From what we've always understood, he has kind of a lot of sway there, you know. But for anybody not to get Billie Kay, you're just out of touch. There's something wrong with you, not her. You know, it's like, really? You don't understand this? Maybe you should find a different profession, one that doesn't require 3 cuts for 1 punch that's thrown. Just saying. Anyways, get off my soapbox.
Sadly, one more name was announced as being released by WWE a few hours after the initial 9. Mojo Rawley, he was released as well, bringing the total of released talents up to 10.
This isn't like terribly shocking. I feel like Mojo is one of those dudes who he probably works really, really hard. He's got tons of charisma. They never really figured out what to do with him.
Nope.
I couldn't even figure out what to, like, when we were doing We Book Raw, we were like, what do we do with Mojo? Like, I don't even know what to do with him. But the dude has tremendous charisma, lots of talent, and just unlimited energy, seemingly. I'm sure he'll do very well with whatever he does. Like, if anybody of these release talents is most likely to do multiple 24-hour Twitch streams per week, it's Mojo Rawley.
Why limit himself to 24? Why not 48?
Why not 48? Exactly. I'm sure he could do it.
Let's talk about Twitch streams. Let's talk Impact Wrestling. We had our co-stream last night. It was another fun show. Here's some quick results for you. Josh Alexander defeated TJP. This is a really good match.
Yeah, this was a really good match. Yeah, there was that. Yeah, Josh Alexander finished off TJP with that. Yeah, whoa, boy.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Carl Anderson defeated Crazy Steve.
Mm-hmm.
There was a great retirement ceremony for Jazz that was interrupted mid-ceremony by Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. Led to a match. Saw Jazz get the win. Back to the retirement ceremony. Seemingly most, if not all, the locker room came ringside to honor Jazz. She's had a fantastic career. Surefire Hall of Famer.
Dude, straight up kudos to Impact Wrestling for being, a promotion that has a TV deal, strong Twitch presence over at our Twitch channel, for giving somebody, an absolute legend, the send-off that she absolutely deserves. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. She had a really great last run in Impact. Mm-hmm. She had said a year ago when she was, saying, "Hey, I'm winding down my career, probably going to do some sort of retirement tour." You'd figure, okay, high-profile independent circuit maybe. But to do this on Impact, that's really classy of them, and it was a really awesome ceremony. It was awesome.
It was great. It was really great. Brian Myers defeated Jake Something, and then Sami Callihan defeated Matt Cardona. This is the pick your poison.
Pick your poison thing. This was a very clever idea. I like this.
It was. Cardona picked Jake Something to be Brian Myers' opponent, and then Brian Myers picked Sami Callihan to be Cardona's opponent. And then we had a press conference. Kenny Omega. He just kind of sauntered in like more than halfway through. And Rich Swann, of course, this ended in violence.
Yeah. This was pretty fun. They took some questions from some wrestling media, not us. Well, it was just media, really. It was the Daily Telegraph.
Apparently, the full. I read on Twitter the full unedited version of this is available. It's 42 minutes long.
What? Are we friendly with any of the other people that ask questions? Should we feel offended that we weren't asked? I mean, clearly, yes.
Well, no.
It was also announced that Mauro Ranallo is going to provide commentary for Omega Swan. Why can't he be there for the entire pay-per-view? What if they're trying to give
the main event big match feel, man? So they have him do just that match.
I want that big 8-man tag match, the Violent by Design versus all those other faces.
Sabin and Storm and Ed Edwards and Willie Mack.
Yeah, I want that big fight feel. Ooh, Willie! I want to hear what Mauro has to say about Willie Mack. Oh, Willie Mack! Look at those pants he's wearing. It's hammer time. They look like MC Hammer pants, dude.
Let's talk SmackDown tonight. 2 matches announced thus far. Tag titles will be defended. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler defend their tag titles against the Street Profits.
Did all of a sudden Vince wake up and he's like, let's get him over to Street Profits. And then Rey Mysterio and Otis set for a clash of styles on SmackDown. Oh, yeah. So that should be fun. Anyways, we're going to be doing our recap of SmackDown tonight on the Twitch Live at twitch.tv/Steven Larson. And then, of course, it'll be up for on demand on the YouTubes, youtube.com/Steven Larson. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.